Hi, welcome to another episode of Talking with Docs. I'm Dr. Bradley.
And I'm Dr. Paul Zalzal.
Okay, Paul, we have a topic today that may inflame some of our viewers.
Uh-oh, lay it on me.
Top 6 foods or food groups that cause inflammation.
Dude, I'm in the video and I don't want to watch it.
I know it, and the main reason is inflammation is a really hot topic within medicine. So inflammation has been linked.
Hot
See what I
inflammation.
did there?
Heat is part of inflammation.
Yeah, it's like
for those of you that didn't catch
It's
that.
warm, it's hot, subtle.
Okay.
So inflammation is a big part of medicine nowadays because inflammation leads to lots of problems, like the whole cholesterol problem and plaque formation. It all starts with inflammation. So if we can educate our viewers on maybe some ways that they can reduce their consumption of foods that lead to inflammation, it's actually going to make them feel better.
Okay. I mean, and if you don't believe that foods can influence inflammation, then just ask someone who has gout, because that is a prime example of how something you eat or drink can lead to inflammation in one of your joints. Now, uric acid is the culprit in gout,
Right.
but it just establishes the link between food and drink and inflammation.
Yeah.
Now, we're not saying don't eat any of these foods ever, but we're saying if you happen to be going through a period of inflammation from your arthritis or an injury or something, maybe avoiding these foods can minimize the amount of inflammation that you feel. Maybe.
And this is not just anecdotal stuff. This is like scientifically measured, where there are specific markers of things in our bloodstream that are signs of inflammation. And if they go up when you control for certain foods, that provides a link and helps us identify that they're parts of the cause. So let's get started.
Here we go.
So back in the day, we used to always think fat was the problem. But nowadays, I'd say the focus is really shifted to sugar. So sugar and high fructose corn syrup are things that directly lead to an elevation of inflammatory markers in our bloodstream.
Sorry, Halloween.
Sorry, Halloween. Sorry, soda pop. Sorry, most processed foods. I think I said this before. When you go shopping and you look at the labels, don't just look at the calories or just look at the fat. Look what's within there. And I bought some vegetable broth to cook with the other day, and you look, there's added sugar in it. Added sugar is snuck in everywhere.
It's everywhere. Sugar's everywhere.
Okay.
All that candy we eat, that can lead to inflammation, or if you're having an inflammatory condition, that could make it worse. This year for Halloween,
Yeah?
I'm gonna dress up
Don't
like
do it.
an inflamed hemorrhoid.
Oh,
That's my costume this year, because that's what happens with sugar.
Oh, man.
Or an inflamed bunion. Let's say an
That's
inflamed
a
bunion.
bad costume. Okay, number two.
Trans fats.
Trans fat. So this is very popular and common in the media as well. So what's a trans fat? So a trans fat is a previously unsaturated fat that they packed a bunch of hydrogens in to make it more stable, to change it from a liquid form to a solid form. So
It's like an H-bomb now.
it is an H-bomb, literally an H-bomb on your body, because it leads to elevation of something called C-reactive protein, which is a very important, non-specific marker of inflammation. So this is present in margarine, in fried foods, as well as most fast foods. So, sorry, fun foods. Sorry, fun foods.
Fun fact.
Okay,
French fries. You know where the term French fries comes from?
I'm assuming the French put a bunch of potatoes and some oil and...
You'd be wrong. It's
Okay.
World War I.
Okay.
The American soldiers discovered it in southern Belgium, because there, when the rivers froze over and the southern Belgians could not fry their fish, they fried potatoes instead.
That's a bit of it. You're like, really, where's the fish? How about a potato?
Have a potato. but that's inflammatory. It doesn't matter. So, and because the predominant language in the south of Belgium is French,
Yeah.
so I'm told, they became French fries.
That's not even a French thing.
No, it's a Belgian thing. And do you know where the Belgian waffle came from? France? No, it didn't.
No.
That would have been cool.
It is undeniable that French fries are delicious.
They are good.
They're really, really good, but they're covered in fat, trans fat specifically, and they're not good for you. So everything in moderation. If you're feeling inflamed, maybe dial back the French fries.
How are you gonna eat the gravy without the fries?
Just lick it. Number 3, refined carbohydrates. And these are not highbrow carbohydrates. It's not refined that way. Refined, like all the good stuff has been taken out of them. So particularly the bran and the wheat germ and the fiber. So refined carbohydrates are white, things that are white. So white pasta, white bread, white rice. We need to try to avoid these.
Just think of snobby carbs.
Snobby carbs. And the reason that it does this is white refined carbohydrates have a very high glycemic index. And what the glycemic index means is that when you eat something, how much does it make your blood sugar spike?
Yeah, there you
so
go.
this is graded on a scale of low to medium to high. And these are high and they cause problems for us. And a lot of people will tell you that, you know, when you have that baguette, that delicious baguette that's so soft and gooey, and you eat it, and then you feel a little bit odd afterwards, almost like you have like a sugar rush. It's because you do. It's almost like cake.
I'm starving right now.
Okay, so for refined carbs is number 3. Number 4, Paul, I'm gonna let you even say it.
I don't even want to say it.
I know.
I don't even want to say it. Alcohol. You know what? As you always say, there's a growing body of evidence that suggests that alcohol is not good for you.
Rapidly.
However, many of us do like to have a drink every now and again,
Yes.
but alcohol does lead to inflammation.
Yes.
So if you are going through a period of inflammation for whatever reason, whether it's an autoimmune disorder or an injury or just a degenerative condition, maybe lay off the alcohol for a while.
Yep.
Which is probably a good thing because you wouldn't want to be taking alcohol in some of your anti-inflammatory medications.
No.
You know what? That's a tough one. Tough pill to swallow.
It is. Or it's not pill to swallow.
Yeah. Shot of glass.
Yeah. So, but it also has been shown to elevate that C-reactive protein marker of your inflammation. So one thing that you could do is, what if you had like sangria and you had a bunch of fruit in there?
Yeah, I guess.
You could reduce, kind of negate it. You got inflammation from the alcohol, but you got your anti-inflammatory, antioxidants in the fruit. Put an olive in.
No evidence for that.
No evidence for that. Or the other option that I would tell you is that there's also a massive growing market of non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
My wife and I actually enjoyed some non-alcoholic beer this weekend, just trying to reduce a little bit. And I tell you, it really tastes like beer.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
Like it's even made by the beer companies, like whether it's Beck's or Heineken or Budweiser or Coors, like they all make no way.
I'm not selling
having it.
No, it's like having a car that you go sit in and doesn't go anywhere.
Okay, so sorry, non-alcoholic beers, but I'm on your side. Okay, so number 5. Red meat and processed meat. They're obviously very different categories, but the main problem is that they have something called AGEs, which are called advanced glycation end products. And these are products or breakdown products that are directly linked to inflammation and unfortunately to cancer. And this is not speculation, this is fact, scientific fact.
Okay, we're gonna get a lot of comments about keto diets and all the rest of it.
And carnivore diets, yeah.
That's fine, but in the context of today's talk, we are just saying foods that lead to inflammation and red meat and processed meats can contribute to inflammation.
Yes.
And to make things fair, we're going to
okay.
talk about the next one.
Okay. Number 6. Well, we went fast on that one. Just back to the AGs and the cancer-causing agents. I think it's important to recognize that processed meat, particularly the ones that are preserved with nitrates, are on the WHO's list of level 1 carcinogens. So this is really serious. So they're on a list with asbestos, plutonium, and cigarettes. Like that's how bad and how overwhelming the evidence is.
Processed meat.
Processed meat, yeah.
They add there's a lot of additives to processed meat.
It makes sense. If you can leave it around for a long time, it's probably not good for you.
There you go.
Okay, here we go. Number 6. So this is like a punch back at the vegetables. So vegetable and seed oils in excess are not good for you because they have too much omega-6 fatty acids, which we used to think, everyone's like, oh, get your omega-3s, get your omega-6s. The trouble is, omega-3s are probably the good ones. If you have too much omega-6, it's actually not good for you and does lead to inflammation.
That's right. So there's a little yin and yang for you.
For sure.
Too much vegetable oil. So when you're cooking, no Exxon Valdez oil spill here, okay?
Captain Joe Hazelwood.
Easy on the oils, okay?
Yes.
Oil spills bad for the environment, bad for your dish.
Yeah, and if you're frying stuff, you can use things like broth or even like water. Lots of good
I've been using an air fryer.
Okay, air fryer is great.
Yeah, cool. Air's not bad for you yet.
We'll probably
unless you cook it in a downtown city.
That's right.
That air is not good to
pollution.
cook with.
So those are our top 6. A couple of the notable mentions. So gluten, obviously, for people that are gluten sensitive or formerly have celiac disease, that's inflammatory. And nightshade vegetables. So a lot of people, I guarantee there's gonna be comments, what about nightshades? What about peppers and tomatoes and potatoes and eggplants? The nightshades. So
hang on, I'm getting a phone call.
That's right.
What? It's the Food Network.
What?
They'd like us to cease and desist.
Sorry, Food Network.
Because we basically slammed just about every food group here.
What I was gonna say about nightshades, that you actually can eat them because there's actually very limited evidence to show that the nightshades is a real thing. So some people say, hey, when I have it causes problems, and that's real. We're all so different. There are gonna be things that aggravate you, but nightshades don't have a ton of evidence.
So essentially, the only thing we've let you eat today is a chunk of broccoli.
Yes, depending on how you prepare.
Right, if you cook it in oil, sorry.
Yes.
I'm in it and I don't want to watch this video. I'm the first one to leave a comment. After this video is released, I'm gonna leave the first comment that says this is baloney.
Yes, and number 7, the things that inflame you might be this video.
That is inflamed. And then I'm gonna leave a comment. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna eat a ibuprofen sandwich on white bread, so it's a wash.
And I'm gonna go, That's stupid. No one eats medicine sandwiches.
Well, you know what? This is what the evidence is saying.
Yes.
These foods cause inflammation. By no means we're saying don't eat any of these foods because there's not a lot of foods left. But if you are having an inflammatory process, and maybe not all the foods on this list affect you in a certain way,
Sure.
maybe one or two affect you in that way.
Yes.
But this is kind of in response to a lot of our patients who come to us and say, oh, when I eat this or when I eat that,
Yeah.
I feel terrible, my knee hurts, my hip hurts, my whole body hurts. So if you're playing a detective here and you're trying to figure out what are some foods that might trigger your inflammatory process, this list may help.
There you go.
All right,
If you like this video,
don't hate us.
please like it, subscribe to our channel.
And remember, you are in charge of your own health.
We'll see you next time.